I'm on a beach. Brand new scenery. All new people to meet. More garbage to find. Whenever I find that, that's worth 5 bottles. It kind of shows how ineffective it is to pick up garbage actually in this game. The random coin pickups are so much better, but both at once is something. It'll combine to maybe eventually rent. Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques. That's what she is, yeah. It's kind of like half whimpered out, just barely. The woman next to a bucket of clothes hums an odd melody. Her eyes are closed. You're not sure about the melody, but it might be South Samaran, possibly Sigayan, also known as the Apricot Suzerainty.
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in closer. I have cataracts.
Then how does she know you're here? Reaction speed, don't be stupid. You can detect people with things other than being able to perfectly see things with your eyes. Lean forward.
Oh, welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here, and we don't want any trouble either.
We are not here to cause any trouble, madame.
We're cops. We're hellraisers. Click, click, bang, bang. Points your fingers at Jesus Christ. Either way, even though the first option still seems disingenuous given my history so far in this game. What he said. We're cops. We don't cause trouble. We take care of trouble.
Oh, of course. Last time we saw you around here was 12 years ago. You also came to take care of trouble then. Which you did. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an ill omen.
More positive than I was expecting. Like, last time you came was 12 years ago, which is an eternity. That's distressing. But then it's like, apparently the cops did take care of whatever the trouble was, which is a more positive note than I was expecting, honestly, from the way the ill omen part, really. Wait, I've been here before?
No, not you personally. I meant the RCM. Some of the men got into a fight. One of them killed another. Locked himself in that woodshed over there.
She points to the building behind her.
He was brooding, needed some help opening the door. You got it open for him and took him to think about what he'd done in a more secluded place. Somewhere more quiet.
She says it as if he was on some kind of spiritual retreat. What kind of ill omen are we talking about?
Oh, the usual. Dark tidings, black hound.
If I'm considered an ill omen, why hasn't anyone told me that?
Maybe we are afraid.
Why?
Because you're an ill omen, but you're still welcome here, as long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And maybe even then, because that's the kind of fishing village we've built. I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park your motor carriage, and not a lot of houses, or a lot of people. My kids are long gone, searching for treasure. So are others. Ah, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us?
Where could someone stay around here? Say, most people are trying to leave. That said, if lodgings is what you're looking for, I've got a free room in the shack. Her soapy thumb points to the building behind her. How much is it? I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill. From the people, from the village to the RCM. I'm not sure it's appropriate for the RCM to accept free accommodations. The old woman shrugs. Or don't. It's your choice. No skin off my teeth. Wait, why isn't there anyone using the room? My kids grew up and left, like they do. The house is long empty now. I live in the small side attachment. It's easier and cheaper to keep warm. I mean, I do spend all of my money staying at that other place, so it's maybe an upgrade? But I wonder what kind of consequences there might be for doing this. I don't know. But the whirling in rags is kind of terrible. One more time, I can just have the room? Aye, she nods and looks at the shack. The room is pretty bare bones, but it's got a bed and a roof over it, and that's more than some folks have around here. I mean, I'm already cold in my own room. I'm cold in my own room because of the hole in it. People resent me there. And, maybe living in a crib of all of my previous mistakes and guilt only leads to more inability to sleep every day. And it might be helpful to change locations away from the place I trashed. I don't know. They're probably both freezing. This one might also be dangerous in other ways, if people want to find me. Not that there's really that much stopping them from going after me at the Whirling in Rags if they really want to. The people that I'm interrogating for the murder are downstairs from me when I'm there. I don't know. When Vasan communist revolutionary Ignace Nilsson was in hiding, he stayed at a hut on the Boreal Plateau for 10 months. Jesus. These responses. It would help me stay in touch with the proletariat, is your communist answer. This could be the first chapter of my rags to riches memoir. That's capitalist. Now this is the real Revicolian hospitality. That Gart must be half kipped or something. There's your fascist. Unfortunate that incremental development hasn't elevated this neighborhood yet. I see potential here. Actually, that might be the... Those both could kind of be the ultra-liberal. Probably this one, though. It would help me stay in touch with the proletariat. You best not be plotting another revolution and under my roof, she mumbles. We barely got through the last one. But the room, do you want it? You've got yourself a tenant. King finger guns, but only in my mind. Mind finger guns. Don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the police. A key appears from under her apron. She hands it to you. Well, if you're not in the hostel in the morning, know where to find you. He looks around and adds, here, in a shack. Listen, I want to spread my wings and live. I want to buy tabletop games and music and other weird items that are lying around that I can't buy because I have to pay for this room every day, which is expensive. So, you know, this is a potential solution because I am like just barely making my daily rent by collecting cans all day. And I'm gonna run out of a map to explore for the first time. What is in this fishing village? Just us. She sounds tired. It's barely a village anymore. We almost don't exist. What do you mean? This is pretty much a non-place, she grins. A gap. A blank spot on the map. Just a cluster of nameless shacks on a nameless street. This place is so pornographically poor, it's not even funny. Do not call it pornographically poor out loud to her. Jesus Christ. Who else lives in this village? Well, there's Lillian and her kids. A few new folks live in the house to the east. She nods her head across the courtyard, but they're away right now. And then there's the drunks, she sighs. Not a pretty sight, but there's little we can do about it. Home is home, even for them. I met Lillian already. Lillian is tough, she nods. Tougher than the men here, at least. If it weren't for her and the kids, this place wouldn't have a spark of life left. I haven't seen any drunks yet, though. Sooner or later, you'll see for yourself. She slowly shakes her head. Don't have to look long to find these guys. Is there a way to make a little money around here? Here? For you? He lets out a dry chortle. No, officer. The only money we have here is some coins the drunks tried hiding from their women, and then forgot about. Under carts, boats, little boxes. It's not hard to find. There's got to be something here, tell me. She waves her hand southwest. Over there, you can find more of the same. Shacks and trees, growing wild. That's the pox. Between here and Jamrock, a dusty sea of old trees, all covered in industrial soot. Small houses under them, an overgrown park. The pox, what's that? An old military hospital and its surroundings. He looks towards the buildings to the south, or it used to be, during the time of the Suzerain. After the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital for shell-shocked veterans and folks looking for some quiet in the old sanatorium gardens. Now the area is crisscrossed with nameless streets and makeshift cinder-block houses. Shacks as far as the eye can see. What happened to the hospital? The goodwill ran out. She tightens the scarf around her neck. The staff left and the place was shut down. It's long gone by now. Alright, there's another topic I'd like to address. She nods, rinsing another piece of cloth. What's further down the coast? Not much, she replies and wipes her forehead. There's the abandoned church, the DeLorean Church of Humanity. It's been there since before my time, even. Why is it abandoned? Some things just don't fly, officer. She smiles a gap-toothed smile and smells the air. Look around. Who'd go to church here? They built it 300 years ago. Must have been nicer then. So they don't hold services there anymore. The ecclesiasts. Order of Ecclesia. No, they've tried, but things just keep happening. Crime, accidents, other things. The place never stays open. She frowns. It's a pity. It used to be a nice church. What else is on down coast? Before you get to the church, there's some ruins. An apartment complex or some kind of electrical plant. Run down bunch of houses, empty. Which is it then, apartments or an electrical plant? I don't know exactly. A pre-war place. It used to be something, she shrugs. Before the war. I wasn't here then, you know. Was born in Samara. Anything else of note? Of note? The old fish market up the boardwalk, but it's closed. That's it? There's gotta be more. What? You're one of those real estate people with big plans? If you want a development opportunity, you can check out the abandoned building over at Land's End. Used to be a supply depot, we think, sending goods and ammo across the bay. It's jammed shut, though. We tried to get in, but if there was anything to sell or scavenge... See if there's anything to sell or scavenge, but it's impossible. Nothing is impossible, surely. She drops a bar of soap into the bucket with a splash. And now you know everything there is to know about this coast. Tell me about yourself. Who exactly are you here? Me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Mother called me Isabel, if that's what you're asking. and my married name is Sadie. Now it's your turn, Mr. You can say your name and sigh. Call me Harry. Why, I guess I will, Harry. It just rolls off the tongue. I used to know a Harry. Strong lad, but dumb as a rock. What happened to him? He did too many narcotics. So many he fell off his boat and split his skull on a buoy. She rubbed soap off her hands. Folks who saw it say his head cracked open like a melon. Nasty, nasty. Goodbye. I'm off. Well, that's not an expected outcome. Just wander up, get offered a new room. Is something gonna happen to me? I'm genuinely curious, like, is this bait of some sort where a bad thing happens if I commit? I wonder. Oh god, I have 2 skill points. Huh. Let's just keep one skill point sitting. Oh wait, no, I was planning on learning these things potentially. A lot of visual calculus lost though. Yeah. Which is a bummer. I like that bonus shivers though. This unlocked all endurance checks, but only at the beginning of the game, when there was almost none that I needed to do anyway. +1 to all motion learning caps. I'm not sure if I'll ever capitalize on that. Considering it's already my specialty, am I ever really going to put that many extra points into all these different stats? Like adding 7 to my hand-eye coordination, taking it to like an 11? A 12, I guess? Because this already has a -1, I assume? Yeah. And a bit more zooming out doesn't necessarily matter to me either. This gives me experience every time I say anything leftist. Which hopefully ends up being worth it by the end of the game. Huh. Derealization. All int learning caps raised by 1. Which is why all of these... Yeah, all of these have a 2. But that's useful because I have very little to work with there. Psi learning caps raised by 1. Oh, that was int, right. This is psi. Yeah, int and mot aren't super useful. Mot is less useful, I think, because I also put this crown on this, which I think led to all of them getting a bonus. This is pretty amusing to me that I get healed whenever I fail red checks. They are just red checks, though, which are pretty rare. And a lot of pain threshold. Safety's always off. Right, I get 1 suggestion whenever my hands are empty. This one's pretty great, yeah. My art degree giving me 10 experience whenever conceptualization triggers is giving me a lot of experience in general. I think that's going to be one of the most powerful things I've ever gotten in the game. This is useful too. Yeah. I think the 20% zoom out distance isn't necessarily actually useful. And getting 1 cap on motion is probably the least useful cap increase. We'll find out. I don't know. It's my playthrough, my choices. Easy to get worried about how many things I might do wrong. I don't know. I do worry. But the That's inherently part of the whole thing of building your own character and specializing in certain things and so on, is that you have to deal with all the missed opportunities you might have. That's why you play these games multiple times, potentially. The motorway south. At the edge of the map, the landmass begins to disintegrate into pure trigonometry. Yeah, this is the one about going into the pale. Let's internalize the pale. Exactly what Kim doesn't want me to do. I'm sure he'll love it when I start freaking out about the pale. Maybe if I internalize it, I can have a nice big conversation with the pale driver. The door has seen better days. The layer of paint has started to peel off due to the salt and wind from the sea. Even the lock looks slightly rusted. Unlock it? I'll wait outside to give you some time and privacy to check out your new living arrangement. But just so you'd know, after we're done with the day, I'll be staying in the Whirling in Rags for the night. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning. The key turns with a satisfying click. You can enter the shack now. That's polite of you. He's gonna come all the way to me instead of the other way around every day. I kind of thought I'd have to pick him up. What's this? The floorboards creak under your step. There's a razor and a mirror just sitting here. Some dishes. This intricate heat engine hums quietly, giving out pleasant warmth. Using a thermodynamic expander condenser cycle. Nice. Old science fiction magazines, books about birdwatching, an almanac from '39. A brisk coastal wind still howls against the window of the shack. Occasionally the waves crawl in under the foundation, producing a low hum. The room feels muffled, like you pulled your hat over your ears. Outside, it is cold and windy, but you're inside and it feels safe and warm. What is this place to you? Some varied responses here. My new hangout where I could sit silently, drink, and die while looking at the waves rolling in. It does seem like a cozy little place. My character seems to like it here. Change of pace. Apparently it's warm in here, which inherently makes it better than the last place I was in. It's starting to snow. Like, it's only getting colder, and that place is not repairing its window. Maybe if I don't stay there for a night, they'll repair the window. My forward base for the coastal part of the operation. It's free. It's good enough. I could live here. It looks like this is my new home. Wonder where the old one went. Yeah. It's free. That's good enough. I could live here. Waves crash onto the beach, drowning the reeds. Far to the south, the congregation gathers to a soup kitchen and a shelter for the homeless. An old woman gives you knitted scarves for free. This could have been you. This could still be you. A down on his luck nobody trying to survive. Thank you, strange sensation. For a fair assessment of the current situation. Outside, the howl of the wind has picked up. The waves crash against the stilts again. It's as if you think the thought, but in someone else's voice. Look, under the floorboards. What? What's under the floorboards? You see the waves, the sea, a church. An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see the reflection of your face, in it, adorned with the expression. But electrochemistry's hard. I could have put a point into it and give it a shot. But is this really the thing I want to spend a point on? This white check? I'm kind of thinking not. I don't know, maybe the expression being defeated is actually super important. Boom. On the table you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it a small hand mirror. A straight razor soaks inside the wash bin. I can shave the mutton chops off. Will that make... Is shaving the right call? The water reflects back a vague image of your face. Nose bulbous and red, hair unkempt, wrinkles lining the eyes and forehead. The stash is gigantic. Giving the impression of cleaning up might be really nice. Transformation in my character. Turning away from drinking and drugs and trying to, like, pick myself together. Make a display for Kim that I'm not just gonna fucking ruin this whole thing for him. Inspire some confidence. I also apparently looked at an ID of myself without the mutton chops and saw myself as being better back then, essentially. There's symbolism in shaving. A fresh start looms ahead. Clean yourself up and be born anew. Time to shave. Get these mutton chops off. Come on. I'm like, don't you dare fail at shaving. You're an adult man. Like an artist with a brush or a master swordsman, you use the small mirror and straight razor with some soap to remove all that unkempt hair from below the nose line. Oh my god, his face is different. Look at that cheek. That spike of that cheek smile. His face has always been a lot to take in. It's just that you get used to it, so if you change it at all, you're like, huh? The sharp blade chafes against your skin, producing a scratching sound. The surface underneath the beard feels tender, the air brushing against it chilly. Feel your clean-shaven cheeks. They feel so smooth, surprisingly so. A feeling of freshness overcomes you, as if you just came from a cold bath. Was shaving the right call? The water reflects back a vague image of your clean-shaven face. Despite the bulbous nose, unkempt hair, and persistent swelling, you look a little younger, maybe? You almost look like a professional. You almost look like a professional. I wonder if this reset the check. It did. It did reset the check. Because shave did a +1 once again. It's still such a low chance. We gotta flex. I gotta put all of my drug items on. Oh god. I try to keep these items straight. No, these already had electrochemistry. I've got to become the electrochemistry god. This is important suddenly. Not great. It's not amazing. Oh god. Don't let anyone see me like this. 58%? It's like something snaps in you. A nerve ending, a thought, a sadness. Your face in the mirror is suddenly clean of the leer that had distorted it for God knows how long. Oh god, what have I done? Look at his poor face. He does not look happy. And just like that, it's over. The running gag that your life has become. A sad old man looks back at you. Let the mirror be for now. My god. We've transformed as a person. Nope. I hate those ones. I've reinvented myself. I'm all cleaned up and shit. And I still got a bag of garbage that I'm carrying around. Don't worry about it. I'm so clean now. My stats, they're ruined probably. The back and forth of trying to make a visual setup versus your stats. I don't know. They'll do something. It's a real mixed thing. This is it. We're gonna shock Kim with my reinvention. I wish I had a more applicable hat. The hat looks strange. We can't really see my face through it because of the camera angle. But I think my only other hat is this one and the beanie. Where even is the beanie? There it is. Yeah, the beanie looks even weirder. It's in bum mode. My bum hat for bums. This is gonna be a controversial episode where I broke the smile and the mutton chops. My god. This will be the most commented on video of the whole series. Even more controversial than the cup. It'd be really funny if Kim was actually startled. You can't see into the house from this angle. Inside you hear the cozy sound of some kind of heater sputtering.
Yes?
So, I shaved. Yes, the lieutenant stares at your shaven face, his eyes narrowed. He mumbles. I don't know what to say. He coughs. Perhaps. What is it? You can tell me, Kim. I'm not really sure about this turn of events. I think the mutton chops might have been a better idea. They sort of seem to cover up some of the... He stops. Either way, good on you. The lieutenant gathers himself. You were saying? Oh no, oh no. The game lets you shave and then it's completely framed as being a mistake by everyone. And then you just live with it for the rest of the game because you don't just like flex and then like the fucking mutton chops come back. Oh, his poor face down there. The street sign is illegible below the graffito. Construction material. Whoever planned to build this house left in a hurry. Breaking and entering. Who doesn't like to do that from time to time? Chickadoo. Drugs. I broke into somebody's house and got rewarded with drugs. Or supplements, I guess. Drug supplements. Found the drunks. Let's talk to the kids first. Oh, it's Lillian's kids. The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone. He can't be more than 5 years old. The other one looks indistinguishable from him. He watches his brother kick the stone with his tongue lolling out of his mouth. You must be Lillian's twins. This one doesn't say anything, kicking the concrete with his worn-out sneaker. Lily's our mom, explains the other one, tongue still lolling out of his mouth. I said that. The stone kicker laughs, suddenly. His head is too large for his shoulders. The other one laughs as well. Wow. So intellectually stimulating. You guys look identical. The stone-kicking one becomes frantic all of a sudden, as if that's Something to be scared of, the obvious fact that you just stated. He looks just like me, the other one says. Yeah, I said that. The boy doesn't answer. His brother throws another rock. Both of their hair is covered in some kind of dirt. The rock kicker was just being shy, but now he's enthusiastic again. You're bad with kids, the lieutenant remarks with evident glee. And what are you, Kid Master General? Maybe I am, he grins. Now, how about some actual police work? We're not getting anything out of here. Bye, kids. Take care. I don't know, I'm just interacting. You never know what kind of crazy thing you'll do. Do you know how many detective stories I've seen where some offhand remark from a child cracks the whole case wide open? Just wide open. You never know. They taunted me here with money. I guess I'll have to interact with the people now. His name's Don't Call Abigail. Is that the only thing he says? Don't call Abigail, grumbles an unshaven man with a ruddy nose. He narrows his eyes at you as if in recognition, then turns his head away. The noxious odor emanating from the drunken man is strong and familiar.
Don't you call her, you hear? Don't call Abigail.
Who's Abigail?
Oh, Abigail. Don't you fucking call Abigail.
He draws out a disgusting snort, then mumbles, waving a finger in your general direction. You're not going to get anything from this guy. He's too drunk. Who are you? What's your name? His eyes move around erratically, then looks at them hazy and unfocused. The look in them hazy and unfocused. Don't call Abigail, he says. Where am I? What is this place? The man hiccups, then mumbles something unintelligible. Why shouldn't I call Abigail? He snorts and beckons you to lean in closer. Lean in? His breath smells harsh, like a toxic swamp as he whispers to you. Don't call Abigail. Don't call Abigail. He then waves his hand as if shooing you away. Hey, I'm on an important investigation. I demand you answer my questions. There's no use in yelling at drunks, the lieutenant interjects. He's barely holding it together. I wouldn't say he's holding it together. Just so we're clear. Tell me about your friends. He glares at you. Don't you fucking call her, hear me? His voice trembles with every word, becoming even weaker. Abigail, he whimpers in the end. Don't, the man stammers. Don't call. Slowly, his head nods off to the side, and he passes out, tongue dangling from his mouth. There was little chance he'd be a reliable witness anyway. I'd be remiss not to try interacting with these strange people. Although last time I talked to bums... Oh, wait, those weren't bums. Those were just a couple of old guys playing in a hole. But that was like an hour-long talk. They had a lot.
Hey, tequila!
Idiot doom spiral. Wow. Okay. A 30-something man clad in a two-piece lycra TM tracksuit puts down his pilsner and extends his hand in greeting.
Good to see ya! How's business? How's the old reality situation treating ya?
He called me tequila. Is that what I killed myself with? My brain? With tequila? Shake his hand?
So what's happening?
He picks up his beer. Wait, tequila?
Yeah, Tequila Sunset. How are the, high concept reality-based adventures proceeding?
He says it like it's obviously your name. Like you call someone Billy Brunel or leader of the 4th Street Gang. I have nah. Not too hot. I'm on a 50-year losing streak.
That's harsh. I'm like 3 or maybe 4 years into mine. Wait, no. Make it 5.
He looks at his shit-stained liquid trademark with a grim expression.
Things aren't going super well for Idiot Doomspiral either. Haven't found those keys yet. Haven't won that great piece of arts back. No word for my business buddies.
He takes a sip from his beer. He refers to himself as Idiot Doomspiral, alright? Idiot Doomspiral, huh? This is bound to be a good, high-concept conversation at last. What is a tequila sunset? You keep saying it. It's you. You're Tequila Sunset. How do you know this? We've met before, don't you remember? Nope, you sure don't. Nope. Aha! He takes a sip from his beer. Do you want to know how Tequila Sunset came to be? Go ahead. Let me take a sip to moisten up my chords. He takes a big sip, then begins. Tequila Sunset rolled into Martinez last Friday, and by Tequila Sunset, I mean you, the man, the myth. Was I alone? Hey, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. This is your story. Stop interrupting. He takes another sip, then continues. Hey, it's my chance to find my own backstory, finally. You got here on Friday to solve a case, hoping to be the early bird who gets the worm, and by the worm, I mean the buzz. Because as far as I know, all you did was get pissed drunk. Word on the street is you went around a local hostel telling people that you're a police officer, that it would be really fucked up if you shot yourself in the head right in front of them. It's pretty high concept if you ask me. It is. The lieutenant's brow is furrowed. He's listening as casually as he can. What happened then? It was a late Saturday night when we, the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, were getting our drink on. Nothing remarkable about this. We get our drink on 24/7. Makes everything warm and glowy. I trust you know the feeling. One moment we hear the sound of a motor carriage revving up somewhere on the plaza, followed by a series of dings and bangs. Do you remember the sound of wood cracking? The billboard. Naturally. Loud noises piques the interest of anybody owing a pair of ears. That's just the reality we're in. Naturally. Anyway, there was a brief silence, a gasp of silence if you will, followed by a real commotion. We heard the carriage careening towards the coast at top speed. Sounded like someone jumped the canal. We grabbed our brewskis and rushed to the jetty. Never underestimate the speed of an alcoholic. What we saw was a sight to behold, a beat-up police carriage containing you, right there on the beach. You revved the engine and screamed at the top of your lungs. The time hath come. So naturally, being the curious cat I am, I asked what time hath come, to which you replied, The time hath come for Tequila Sunset, the end of all things. Uh-oh. Oh god, what happened next? Your reality contracted. You jammed the pedal, plowed right off the jetty and through the ice. The muscles in your right leg tense up. We ran towards the ice, whilst you crawled your way out, miraculously unhurt, covered in seaweed and shit, like some kind of sea monster. When we finally got there, you were sitting on the bench, crying. You said that your badge and uniform were in the car. It was too late to get in there, though. The carriage had sunk too deep. Recognizing a brother in need, we offered our condolences and invited you to party with us, which you naturally agreed to. We asked about the whole Tequila Sunset thing, and you told us it was your name now, and insisted that we all call you it from then on. It's another name of mine? I have so many names. Wait, so is Tequila Sunset an event or a name? I'm not sure. I think you were the event, Tequila Sunset. You know, as opposed to a tequila sunrise, which is long gone. Tequila sunset, huh? Sounds pretty good. He smiles. Yeah, I agree. How long did we party for? Hours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. Then at some point, I think it was Sunday morning, you got belligerent and wanted to talk about Revicolian women. How they're beautiful and also whores and so on. How one of them fucked you real bad. After a short while, you crossed the event horizon, looked sullen, got up, and left without saying anything. Wow, that's quite a story. Yeah, I bet Tequila's a fucking legend around the precinct. You must be proud to work with him. If only you knew. Did I tell you anything specific about that person that fucked me? You were pretty vague about it, but you kept saying you got fucked real hard, that we've all been fucked too. No one's fucked me. I do the fucking around here, whoever Rosemary is. Abigail. It seemed pretty painful to be honest with you. If I had to guess, I'd say you're still working through some shit. Did I mention losing anything else? Beside your gun and your badge? You said something about your hope, or heart, or something. To be honest, the details are a little hazy. In retrospect, I guess you lost your motor carriage too. That's a big one. Did I say anything about my colleagues? He told us that they were a bunch of fucking losers whose main interest was cramping your style. No specifics though. It's more about you that night. You were the star of the show. Did I say anything about the case? Yeah, you said it was no biggie, that you'd solve it in no time. He takes a strong quaff of his beer. And that you didn't need anyone to do it. You're doing it solo now. A lot of cops go solo and hermit once they reach that level of alcoholism. Damn, Kim just coming in straight. Did we talk about, politics? Yeah, he kept talking about how the coal mine owners were fucking us all over, just like the women, just like that woman fucked you. I didn't agree with you, by the way. That special hand of the market makes sure everyone... No! The spectral hand of the market makes sure everyone gets exactly what they deserve. He takes a long sip of beer. God damn it. When I went on my big rants before in like the Q&A series and stuff about like the free hand of the market, which is taught to all the little boys and girls in America, like Santa Claus, as this like this fictional character that somehow magically makes capitalism work out, and all the money gets to the people who deserve it, and people do well if they deserve it and don't do well if they don't deserve it, and shit like that. Like this weird morality and karma system applied to all of the free market, as if like it has morality built into it and actually helps the right people and so on, is like I had to explain like, no, I'm serious, this is a real thing, because like people were completely baffled from other countries because they didn't understand what I was talking about. I'm like, no, really, you taught about the free hand of the market, like it's this thing that makes capitalism just work somehow in America, and when you get older, it feels like such a betrayal, because it's like fucking Santa Claus. It's just this character that magically does this system and makes the good people get good things and bad things people get bad things, and then you find out when real that it's just completely made up. It's a concept at best. And therefore it doesn't actually do anything. And yeah, here this guy is, and at the very least, this is not an American game, so we're not completely making it up. But it is also made up. Yep. Yep. So apparently my character was a communist before I got drunk and blacked out. I wonder if he has different dialogue that reflects your personality as you've made it now by the time you get here, or if he always says you used to be a communist basically before you blacked out, and then you potentially changed your entire personality when you reset. Did you get a read on what kind of cop I was? You kept apologizing for being such a bad cop and for the damage you've inflicted on everyone around you. You also kept pausing to knock the heel of your hand against your temple, saying, "Stupid, stupid, stupid." Oh. I'm not a fun drunk at all. At all. I don't need to hear anymore. He nods. It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. That's why I avoid mine at all costs. So, what do you guys do around here? We're saving the world. He looks at his comrades. Please, please don't call. Don't call, begs the man in the pipe. Okay, we're drinking. We're drinking alcohol, that's what we're doing. I tried to save the world once a long time ago, with enterprise, creativity, and willpower, but that didn't work out. So now it's a pirate's life for me. You seem like you're characterized by your storytelling ability. Want to tell me another one sometime? Whoop-de-doo, so I'm a fucking storyteller, he says, slapping his knee. Right, why not? Better than a beach bum. Yeah, want to tell me how you became Idiot Doom Spiral? Depends, really. Are you willing to help me out? You might get scammed here. I have a feeling this is going to cost me a lot. No, the reality of the situation requires a rather modest contribution. A little motivational package. What do you need? Booze. Did you already forget our party? He taps the finger to his temple. The thing I relayed to you earlier. So, have you got anything for good old Idiot Doom Spiral? A bottle for a story. Seems fair to me. You can fucking have it. I've got some sweet Commodore Red. Classy. He snatches the bottle and pushes the cork in through the bottleneck. Being the sorry cop I am, and also some real life elements and so on. And the fact that this entire intro was a series of horrible mistakes made. Really trying to reform here, so I'm not really interested in using the Commodore Red, even if it has uses for me, stats-wise or something. I'm trying to specifically not, like, fall back in. He snatches the bottle and pushes the cork in through the bottleneck. He pushes it in? Never seen someone do that. Seems like a poor choice. Before he can start, one of the other bums interjects. Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that? Gurgles the near comatose man. Shut up, guys, I'm telling a story here. He turns to you. Something happened to you. Something happened to me, too. My actual name is George, but around here, you already know. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual, a founder/junior partner at a high concept creative services agency. When my story begins, I just had to land a major contract with an insurance firm. Go on. I used the profits from my agency to finance what I call a cultural incubator. Abstract value generation, value per person, high concept stuff. I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm, but the burden of leadership weighed heavily on me, so I went jogging every so often to keep myself sane. How many people did you have working for you? 22 full-time employees, an all-star team, a potentially historical set of individuals. Worrying about them often kept me up well into the morning hours. Did the jogging help? It did. With my trusty sans-serif tracksuit, I felt like I could conquer the world. But now dreams are worn thin, much like my tracksuit, he says thoughtfully, brushing dust off his shit-stained pants. What happened? One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear your head when you're distracted by the sounds of keys jangling in your pockets. He shakes the bottle and makes a ringing sound. His eyes are clouded. His dilated blood vessels encircling his irises are stinging brambles. His eyes are your eyes. So I removed the keyring and put the keys to the front gate and the apartment into different pockets. To stop the jangling, you see. At least that was the plan. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. The reality situation became very wet very quickly. How wet are we talking exactly? Wet, okay. It was raining really hard. There's a trace of derision in his voice. I'd made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front gate. I'd mixed it up with the key to the letterbox, which was useless. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no climbing down, because I slipped and landed on my ass. Ouch. Ouch indeed. Reality was looking rather grim. Just then, me lying on my ass in a mud pit in the middle of a heavy shower, but when life knocks me down, I always got up. So I made my way across the yard, standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets. I realized that I'd also forgotten my apartment key. You've got to be shitting me. He turns his head towards the skies and says, I wish I were, Tequila. I wish I were. Instead of my apartment key, I'd taken the key to the office. Okay, so what happened next? I rang my neighbor's buzzers. It was late. Most of them didn't even answer. Those who did assumed I was trying to sell them something and hung up before I could even explain the situation. People are naturally wary of ad men, you see. One moment, someone chats you up. 5 minutes later, you bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-on. That's fine. I don't begrudge them, especially since I was known to be one of the best. He pauses meaningfully. Just then, I experienced a moment of clarity. I still had the key to my office. I could wait out the storm there. Well, when I reached my office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers to change the locks that day, and since I hired only the best, he'd already done it, and I couldn't get in. Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my apartment for years. My girlfriend left me because she didn't want to date a homeless man. The company, well, you see where I'm going with this. He pinches his thigh as if to check whether reality is whether this reality is the reality. This seems like an incredibly solvable problem. How did any of this happen? What? And I have heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you've ever heard, huh? He takes a long swig of his drink. I'm confused. You can comically get locked out of everything in your life in one series of hilarious key accidents, but that doesn't, like, end your life. Or your access to those things. Like, that's a solvable problem. That's weird. Wait, is that it? I feel like there's some steps missing. Tequila, I've thought about this series of events for a long time. If there was anything else to it, I would have thought of it by now. Why didn't you go to the authorities? Well, at one point they came to me, but you know, I didn't have any ID on me, so they tossed me in jail for 2 days. I can't say it increased my faith in the RCM. No offense, gentlemen. He shakes his head. I'm almost homeless myself. Doesn't seem so bad. The hobo lifestyle definitely has some perks. Not having to pay rent, first and foremost. Not being responsible for 20 other people is nice too. But that charm wears off pretty quickly. Before you know it, you're wearing a shit-stained tracksuit, spending your days picking tear. I really feel like you could have, you know, there's ways to clean the tracksuit. Hell, there's a very nice lady nearby who has a wash bin that you could use. She's like 20 steps away. Why do you keep losing all your stuff? Good fucking question, Tequila. If I knew the answer, you think I'd be hanging out on a beach in this formerly premium but now extremely dirty two-piece lycra tracksuit? Have you considered, a keyring? Like one keyring? I used to own my reality situation. My business buddies and I have had our creative services agency. I had a nice apartment, even a nicer piece of ass, but somehow it all got away from me. Now I can't hang on to anything. Just last week I stole a nice new jacket, but then I lost it too. The only things I haven't lost are these two drunks. A lost jacket. Sounds like a mystery you could look into. I feel like I might have the jacket already. I have several jackets. What's this about a lost jacket? Tequila, it's a verifiable tragedy. It was practically brand new. Sure, it didn't really go with my licorice threads, but it did itch a lot less. He looks at you, bleary-eyed. Say, you're a detective, right? Maybe you can help old Doom Spiral out. Solve the case of the missing jacket. What do you say, Tequila? What if it was just my police jacket that I found on that weird railing? Because that was a weird place to find that. Okay, sure. Where'd you lose it? If I knew where I lost it, don't you think I'd have it? I mean, maybe it was up by the boardwalk, or maybe along the beach, or checking out the abandoned fish market. It's a lot of places. Find Idiot Doom Spiral's jacket. Apparently found it on this side of the canal. So it's not the ones I have already. What was the name of your agency? My agency, man. He takes a long, melancholic sip. The Boom Boom Room. Our concept was combining high art with the lowest forms of marketing. The color red, breasts, and oil painting. I convinced my partners to reinvest some of our profits into an even more high-concept cultural incubator called Thin Air. The artists were happy. The clients were happy. Reinvest their profits into thin air. So their profits vanished into thin air. I was financing a group of poets in East Revachol who were developing a new universal poetic language, but then it all went to shit. He looks towards the bay. Sounds intriguing. What say you, art cop? Commodifying culture. No. No. That's so high concept, I have no idea what it means. I know. He takes a long, wistful sip of beer. It was fucking awesome. I know. He takes a long, wistful sip of his Pilsner. He's already back to the previous beer, apparently. Until I went on a jog, unleashing a cascade of doom that washed it all away. What's up with the tracksuit? What? You never seen a 100% lycra before? Go on, feel the primo material. The man extends his arm. Okay. Googling lycra. I do get results. But it's spelled lycra, L-I-C-R-A. Is lycra a thing? It really wants to tell me that I mean lycra spelled with a C. Oh. International League Against Racism and Anti-Semitism. Huh. Or Ligue Internationale contre le racisme et l'antisémitisme in French. The people that love my horrible pronunciation are going to enjoy that one. I guess that's where lycra comes from. L-I-C-R-A. Huh. I almost wonder if that's kind of a reference. But I think lycra is also a material type. Yeah, lycra material. Spelled L-Y-C-R-A. There's so many different ones. That's like yeah, that's spandex. That's spandex. That's what I thought. I knew lycra was a material. But it's also an anti-racism organization. Both spelled with an I. So many different versions. And for all I know, it's a fucking like attempted reference to all of them at once. Knowing these developers so far. Touch it. How did I oh, was it bad? Oh god, was it bad? Was it bad? Good god, it's nearly impossible to describe how dirty this texture is. It's like rubbing two jellyfish skins together. You feel about 15% less human after touching it. Randomized trials have found that lycra to be associated with a number of exotic, highly malignant cancers. So you also have that to look forward to. Jesus Christ. And then there's the smell. But you don't even want to think about it. Pretty nice, huh? This might be one of the last of its kind. Should probably be up in a museum, honestly. He takes another sip. That's horrible. God, if I find the jacket, he can have it, apparently, because it's the worst. Wow, you're lucky. He never lets me feel it. That's because your paws are fucking filthy, Rosie. We're right next to the bay. You could wash them any time. And yet you're shit-stained somehow, dude. You're soiled, as it were, and not by soil. Night soil. Blech. What about the other drunks? My fellow members of the Union of Moribund Alcoholics? They're exactly what they look like. Hey, tequila, you wanna buy some speed? Shut the fuck up, Rosemary. He's a cop, remember? I thought he was a cool cop. A gurgling sound comes from the direction of the non-responsive man. And yeah, you're already acquainted with Abs. He points to the man in the pipe. So yeah, it's basically us. We drink together. Let me ask you something else. I'm all ears, tequila. Maybe some other time we'll ask for more stories. I like his stories, but we're about out of time for today. You too, Tequila Sunset. We'll see you guys next time. What's in my inventory that's glowing? Oh, it's more bag. I wish that this didn't do that. Stop it. Shut up. Shut up. Stop giving me notifications. I know I picked up a fucking bottle. You don't need to remind me every time.